So a choice that I noticed pretty much all of the actors in the play made, I can't really designate it to any one character because the entire cast pretty much did it. I would say it would be the emphasis on crude and kind of adult language. Usually traditional plays, like some you see on Broadway, usually don't use as much adult language as I saw in this particular play. There might be the occasional moment, but I found myself kind of taken aback because there was a lot of it, and I was really surprised because in any time I've ever seen a play, I've never seen adult language at this level. But I think it really spoke to the whole theme of the play because it's really focused on realism and just sort of the truth of life. And the truth of life is that people curse, and that's like a natural reaction, especially in traumatic events or events that provoke sort of an anger or fear. That tends to be the natural human reaction, is sometimes to curse. And in this situation, I mean, the main character, everybody is pretty much being sentenced to die, and it's terrifying for her, and I think the natural reaction would be to use the language. And so the characters interact with each other on a really realistic and natural basis because there's so many differences in opinions, and they're so concerned with how they're going to handle death, pretty much. Nobody really wants to be dragged down with her, and at first they're greeted kind of with a little bit of calm reaction, sorry, I'm not going to do that, but then it leads to anger. Why would you want me to do that? And then the cursing kind of comes as a part of that, and I think it was effective because it just furthered the story in its realistic approach, because it is sort of a fanciful story with characters embodying certain elements of life, because we're never going to have a direct interaction with stuff or kinship. So the play kind of combines fanciful with realism by using language that we see in our everyday lives. And I think it's really crucial to just the story element. I wouldn't say it's the backbone of the entire play, but it is really crucial to just driving that point home, that the entire thing is a realistic depiction of life, however fanciful the elements of it may be. It just speaks to life, and the whole play is talking about how you live your life realistically. You could say nobody ever curses, but that's not realistic. And I just think the use of adult language really both showed the realism and spoke to its audience, because we're college-age kids and we probably curse more than anybody, and it just sort of related sort of an age thing, where how would we react if we were in this situation, because we see somebody and there's no designated age for this particular character, and just sort of off the bat we're going to relate to her as a fellow college student, and we sort of associate ourselves and we see ourselves through the cursing, through the actions. And I think it's just really important for how this play just depicts realism and the realistic, acts of death, and just the realistic approach that everyone's going to take when approached with something so difficult like dying. So as far as the decision an actor made spatially or physically to establish their character, I'm going to focus on everybody, because pretty much what I saw, and kind of going back to the whole part about realism, is she reacted completely naturally to death. There was hyperventilation, she was pacing, running around frantically, and it just really showed sort of her status as fearful and scared, because she doesn't know what's going to happen, and I don't think she can wrap her mind around the fact that she is going to die. As veiled as that message is throughout the play, she is going to die, and so she's terrified. She doesn't know. She's given the choice to bring somebody with her, but she doesn't know exactly how she's going to do that. So she seeks out the different parts of her life, stuff, kinship, her cousin, friendship. And with every interaction, there's never any calm approach to asking them to come with her. She's frantic. She sort of leads into it with a little bit of veiling her real message, her real question that she's asking them to go with her to die, or follow her on this journey to death. And you sort of slowly see her sink into this state of nervousness and fear and anxiety, because she slowly watches them kind of fall out of her grasp of coming with her, and she starts begging and she starts pleading, and she really needs them to come with her. And you can see like the fear and how terrified she is. And especially in the moment right before she goes down the steps into the stage, metaphorically I guess her grave, there's a combination of tension and anxiety, but also ease, because she's finally at the end of the line. Her mind, her strength, they've all left her. She's just been thrown this curveball because they've left her. She thought they were going to come with her. But there is a little bit of acceptance because she realizes that she's finally at the end of the line. And it's just sort of, she stays in one place, sort of like showing her hesitation, because she really doesn't want to go down those stairs, but she knows that she has to. So it's not really a rigid stance, but it's just more of a firm last chance of just keeping her footing in the real world. But pretty much the entire play, she's active in the scene where she has all the doors. She's trying her best to find an out. She's opening every door. Some doors aren't opening, some doors are opening. She can't get through them. And it's pretty much just an emphasis on the anxiety that we all find approaching situations that we don't necessarily understand or are fearful to pursue. And I just think physically the heaving of her body and the shakes and the hyperventilation, it was just really crucial to showing her relationship to each particular thing in her life, like kinship and friendship, because you just could see that she was the inferior to them. She doesn't really matter that much to them because they wouldn't come with her. And I just think this emphasis on anxiety and not being calm and collected just really showed she was terrified, plain and simple, and she was desperately seeking a partner for this incredibly strange and out of nowhere journey.